It wasn't an easy one. Yeah, it wasn't an easy decision. We're very well aware of the position that we're in, and you're giving up a player that has played extremely well for us, helped us get into the position that we're in to this day. So, yeah, it was tough to let him go, but at the same time, the asset that we were getting in return, we felt that's something we just could not pass, and at a place where we are now, the timeline for this team. So. Lots of value, obviously, on a first-round pick.
With regards to Brian Johansson, you got him back in the trade. Is he part of the plan at all moving forward? I know you guys waived him.
Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. We will see. Let's see if we can, give him the chance to go somewhere else. We haven't decided what the future looks like for him yet.
So is he going to the Phantoms?
He's been reassigned this afternoon, yes, after he cleared waivers. But we're trying to see if there's something we can do. Maybe, there's another team somewhere that has a need for him. So we've asked them to stand pat for a day or two.
Obviously, you have with Sean gone and Nick hurt and some other guys banged up on the blue line. Are you potentially looking for a little bit of help, I guess either at defense or forward, if it's, I know you're not going to give away any high-end assets, but
yeah,
maybe a guy or multiple
yeah,
guys that could come in and help a little bit?
We're looking at it. It has to make sense. We're not going to give away assets just for the fun of it either. But if there's something that makes sense, we will act on it. And it's a fine line. We're also this is a great time to give our young guys a little bit of a look. Doesn't sound like Nick will be out of lineup too long, so hopefully we can survive without him for a couple games. I don't know exactly the amount of game. I'm not, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be till the end of the year. So hopefully we can survive that.
Moving to Nick Seeler, you basically said that you guys have been talking with him for a while, bouncing numbers back and forth.
Yep.
What made you make the final decision to sign him to the contract?
Yeah, I mean, there was some give and take on both sides. It was trying to find what was, important for him and what we could live with, as far as a contract. They were great. Him and his representative, they were great to deal with. And Nick really was adamant that he wanted to stay. Didn't want to go anywhere else. And it's I think it's a deal that both sides are happy and excited about. So he's the type of player that. We say he's a flyer. He's a real flyer. He's been here for a few years. The way he plays, he brings a certain element that is tough to find. When you look at our defense, and you have a few guys that are a little on a smaller side, like Jamie, Emile Andre possibly coming at some point, even Cam York. Those are not the biggest guy on the ice, so the element that he brings as far as physical and toughness was something that we had to keep in mind. The culture side and everything that he brings, we just felt that it was a good add or a good really contract to keep him in on our defense group. We're really excited to keep him here for the next 4 years.
Is Nick's value part of it the fact that he can sort of sell towards his style, towards his coaching philosophy to the younger guys by the way he plays, just night in, night out?
That's certainly part of it, but it's so much more than that for him. Like you guys see him blocking shots every night. He's been excellent this year, and not just this year. Last year too, he really took a step in his game. Took another step this year. So he earned it. He really did, and it's a contract that puts us in a good position. You trade Nick Seeler, you're looking for the next Nick Seeler the next day after you trade him. Those guys are tough to find, and I was receiving a lot of calls because everybody sees around the league, the type of human being and player he is. He was in demand, but we felt that what we were getting in return, we were getting more value by re-signing him.
Do you expect to be pretty active over the next 21 hours, or with the fact that you have resolution on both Walker and Seeler, do you expect to kind of be more on the fringes of conversations?
It's tough to tell. If something makes sense, we will act, but it's not like I need to go out there and make something happen. I'm not forcing things. If something makes sense, we'll definitely. So I don't know. Maybe somewhere in between the fringes and attacking. We'll definitely look to see if there's something that makes sense. Yeah, and it goes back to what I've said before. Unless it's a hockey trade, if we're looking for rental, we're not going to spend high-end assets. Again, it's where we're at as an organization. We want to respect that and think about the future at this time.
What's the priority level at making the playoffs for you? I mean, it's obviously you've said you didn't quite expect to be in a playoff spot in March, and
Yeah.
you are. Now that you're this close.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's going to be lots of value in just playing those next 19 games, trying to defend the position that we're in. It's already the playoffs for us. That's the exciting part. Yes, it would be nice to get in the playoffs, but not at the risk of taking chances for the future.
Danny, I don't know if you had a plan exactly at any point. I guess you can't plan what other people are thinking. But if you had a plan, I mean, how close has this gone to plan so far? And has it gone better than you thought it might go?
Well, as you know, plans always change, right? It's just the way I see it is how you adjust and react along the way. This team has performed above what I think everybody expected, including us. We hope to play some meaningful games at this time this year. That was our goal, and they've exceeded that. That's put us in people say, well, it's a tough position. I see it as a great opportunity. It got us the chance to get a high-end asset in return for a Sean Walker that we also didn't expect. I mean, he's played much better than we expected. So, it's a good problem to have. I see it as a really good problem, and we tried to capitalize on that in the trade for Sean. So. We adjust along the way a little bit. We didn't think we'd be in a position to acquire a first-round pick for him, so we had to adjust. I see it as a good problem.
So when you look at where you are right now across the board, how you're playing, all your assets, whether they be picks or players or guys, who are part of your long-term projection, are you in a better position than you expected to be when you took the job, when you began the season?
I believe so. I believe the players have put us in a better position. Not just the players, the coaches. I think that this group, have put us in a better position. The way they've coached, the way they've played. So I see it as a good problem that, they put us in. They put me in maybe a little tougher position, having to trade a player that was really well respected and played extremely well for us. It wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't an easy trade to make. It wasn't an easy phone call when I had to call him to tell him he was going to Colorado. But at this time, we want to keep an eye on the future, and we felt it was the decision that needed to be made.
Going back to Ryan Johansson for a second, you mentioned that he's probably not part of the plan for the end of this year or even next year. I'm just curious as to why. He obviously is an established NHLer. Everybody's always always looking for help down the middle. I'm curious
Yeah.
why you don't think he fits.
I can't really go into that at this point. We just we have a different vision at this point. So that's about all I can say.
Considering,
Maybe eventually I'll be able to expand a little bit more, but we're still, maybe we can find someone to take him at this point. So
considering what you've done results-wise and sort of where you stand roster-wise, have your expectations for this team and this season changed? And have your, I guess, expectations or projections for the future been accelerated?
no, they haven't been accelerated. It's still the same thing. As far as this year, we were hoping to play some meaningful games at this time of the year. Now we're inside the playoff bubble, so obviously I'm hopefully, like all of our fans, I'm really excited about that, and hopefully we can keep it rolling and getting to the playoffs. I mean, that's the goal from now on. For me personally, I don't know what Coach John has told them or what the goal is, with him, with his players. But for me, at this point, I'd love to see this team get in the playoff. So, in a sense, yeah, that's exceeded what we were hoping for at the beginning of the season.
We have a pretty,
One or two more.
you have a pretty fervent fan base, and you've been here a long time. You know what kind of effect that's probably going to have on them, coming from the general manager, that the goal is now to make the playoffs and see what happens.
Well, I mean, we've put ourselves in this position, which is awesome. Those games it's already the playoffs for us in a sense. I said that earlier. It's really exciting what's happening. So, I try to be careful in the expectations that we're putting on our team, but it's been a lot of fun watching this season. So it'd be great to get in the playoffs. There's no doubt about it, and it would be even better for the development of our young guys and what they've already done. So it'd be a big plus for them to experience what it's like to play playoff hockey in Philadelphia.
How confident are you the guys that you brought up, these young defensemen that are going to get a shot tonight, can help replace what Sean was giving you in terms of the mobility back there and the transition game and all that stuff?
Well, I'm not expecting them to replace Sean Walker. I think you do that as a team, but I think it'd be unfair to expect someone to step up and replace Sean Walker, who's played just a few games in the NHL. Both Ronnie and Adam have played just a few games, so that's not the expectation.